Making contact at point 003.
Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm Ralph.
I'm James.
Today we're discussing John Williams, the Maestro's finale. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like that. The Maestro. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
I watched
it
John Williams literally an hour ago.
Yeah, I watched it about 2-3 hours ago. The John Williams documentary that's on the Rise of Skywalker release. Like that's the
Right.
one that we're watching. And yeah, we were just saying literally just before we went live. It's been a while. It feels like forever since we've done this.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's weird, but with like no data link in there, and we didn't do an Invincipod last week, so it just feels like a long time.
Yeah, and I went and shot a full week on a movie, and it was kind of a nuts week. I don't even know what to say. Other than it was exciting and exhausting, and I mean, there's so much good stuff coming out of this thing. So look forward to that. Yeah, look forward to that. I want to get to all of our announcements as soon as possible, but it's been crazy. And then dude, so I'm glad I picked this thing because last night I wouldn't have had time to watch it because I went and saw Godzilla -1.
I saw your Letterboxd post about it.
So here's a little bit of inside scoop of what's going on. So I got a text from Jorge, who saw our friend Jorge Garcia. Mm-hmm. He's on Lost. He also did the Kaiju podcast with me for 4 years.
Yep.
Sent me a text Sunday. He's like, I want to know your thoughts. Last night I see the movie and I'm like, dude, wow.
Oh man.
And so Lucha, so he says he still needs to see Godzilla -1. We saw it in IMAX.
It's not out over here yet.
Listen, 100% you got to see it in IMAX, and it's going away. It's only 1 week in IMAX.
I don't think we're even getting that. We're getting it. So the listings that it's not got any times or dates or anything at the moment, but when it's listed over here, it's listed as an event only. So it's like normally they'll do that as like a one night only thing. So I'm keeping an eye on it because me and Ed have already said like wherever we've got to go to see it, we're going to see that film.
Yeah. If they do it in IMAX or a large screen format.
Yeah, we've got a really good cinema down here.
For some reason, they decided this weekend that they're showing Elf 20th anniversary in IMAX. Dude, so you like Johnny, go tonight or go tomorrow while it's still in IMAX, because holy shit. So what happened was I send Jorge this text, and then the next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call from him because he's like, because he said, he says, are we going to have to rethink our top 5?
Oh, wow. That high.
And I said, I think so.
That's
and
amazing.
He called me.
Are you doing an episode? You're doing an episode, right? You've got to do an episode on it.
I haven't announced it, but we're recording an episode today at 1.
Amazing.
So it's just going to pop up on anyone's Kaiju podcast feed. I don't like.
I'm gonna have to save it. I'm gonna have to save it until after I've watched it.
Yeah. See the movie. If you're watching this live, see it in IMAX. I was blown away by it. Stevie really liked it. It's like almost like if the Godzilla stuff wasn't in there, it's still a wonderful movie.
It's brilliant. That's the best kind.
So you know, you usually have to sit through the human stuff, and you're like, oh, whatever. You know. I'm going to be talking about all this on Kaiju Podcast with Jorge.
Yeah.
Check that out at kaijupod.com. So, needless to say, I wouldn't have had time to watch anything longer than the Maestro's finale. So it was a good choice. It was.
It was. You did well. I really enjoyed this.
I did too, and it with 11 minutes length.
Perfect.
Really got me. It
Yeah.
really like hit me hard.
A couple of times, not just a one-timer. There was moments, and it made you go, whatever your thoughts on the Rise of Skywalker and the Rey Skywalker of it all, like hearing his joy at the end there, where he's like the last two words. What I think does he say they're sublime, or that is like it's something along those lines, something quite theatrical. But he's so pleased with how it ends that you can't not be. You can't disagree with John Williams. If you do, you're wrong.
You he like that's the thing. Across the board, all Star Wars fans can agree on John Williams is the best.
Yep.
Also, what I liked about this is John Williams is like a Star Wars fan,
right?
He's just like,
he's into it.
There's more Star Wars.
Yeah, he wishes that it didn't have to end. It's like you'd think after 9 movies and 40 years of doing it, he'd be like, all right, I'm good, I'm done, I've said everything that I can say. But he's excited to revisit old themes of his old bits of music and to rework them, to do them a little bit differently. Like whether it's something like Kylo Ren's theme that he only did a few years before this, to rework that in this one, he was excited about. To get to revisit Leia's theme and to put a new spin on it, he was excited about. To completely replicate the Yoda rising the X-Wing and just like literally from the original sheets, like getting to do it that way. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's up there, and his joy, like he has such like youthful energy, which you wouldn't expect from someone in his position.
I mean, granted, this is what, like 4 or 5 years old,
but maybe still, more.
Yeah, but still, like, it's one of those things where it's like any sort of bullshit that happens with like Star Wars fandom, like
doesn't matter.
None of that matters. As long as John Williams is happy, I'm happy.
People hated episode 1. They love Duel of the Fates. People hate the sequel trilogies. They appreciate the Rey's theme is
Across the
best
Stars.
Yeah, Across the Stars from 2. Like that.
Battle of Heroes.
Battle of Heroes is, I prefer it to Duel of the Fates. Like there's so much in
I
all
prefer
of
Anakin's theme from episode 1. I prefer that over Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, fair.
I like it. Can you just vamp for a little bit, because Shiny Plastic People came in and said, "Hey Ralph, did you see the new DC Superpowers Hal Jordan Sinestro?" I have not. So I'm gonna do. I need some money. I've been waiting for this. I got to go find a Walmart or something in order to get that. So you just vamp.
Well, while Ralph's doing that, I'm just gonna list off some of the stuff that I really enjoyed in this documentary. It's hearing and seeing Mark Hamill in the studio with these guys. It's like Mark probably wasn't on set for too much of this film. He might have been there for some of the Carrie stuff to support Billy Lord or things like that. He seems like the sort who'd want to be around. He was definitely around more than he was in the film, but like definitely didn't need to be in the studio when John Williams is recording. But he's a guy who wants to be there, and he's always wanted to be there. Like we saw it from clips from like A New Hope and stuff. He was always around, but he is still going, and he's still got like enjoyment out of it. And he and John Williams have such a fun back and forth. Like he calls him Uncle.
He called him
Uncle Mark.
Yeah, Uncle Luke.
Uncle Luke.
Luke.
Yeah. That was really sweet, and like there's always clips of this like documentary in the other documentaries, and you always see Mark in there.
Every time they do that, I just love it. I fall for it every time. Like it makes me emotional.
Just don't need to be there. Like seeing some of them pop in and just be like, okay, cool, I'm good. I'm witnessing this bit of the process. That's lovely, but this is happening after, like for most of it, like they're done shooting. These guys don't need to be even in the same country anymore. Like, there's no need for them to be there, but they choose to be. They want to be. Knowing that Daisy Ridley did pop in, they didn't cover that again, which I thought was smart because it's on the other documentary. But knowing that she was there when they were recording some of her theme, and then John like gave her the score, the sheet, like. her theme, and what a lovely gift that is. Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you why, but I did see some Star Wars sheet music in person this last week.
I believe you. I'm not surprised knowing some of the people that you've been talking with this week. I'm not surprised, and that is very cool.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with anything except for me, Chris. I believe it's Chris, right? Shiny Plastic People. Oh god, I hope I didn't fuck that up. I'm pretty sure it's Chris. So I've been waiting for new Green Lantern superpowers because I don't really collect toys, but when they announced this new DC superpowers line, I'm like, well, they only made one in the old line, which is Hal Jordan. So I'm like, if there's anything to collect in its entirety, it's this brand new thing. And so the only thing they've really released since is the John Stewart.
Yep.
Which I got, and Stevie and I had fun going around to all the Walmarts and checking and looking for it. If I'm sorry again that I'm derailing Star Wars talk, but Chris, can you let me know when these are out so I can start looking in the comments? But dude, classic Sinestro in his like blue blue suit,
black and blue suits.
Which here's another repaint of Batman. They've done plenty of Batman repaints, which leads me to believe that they can do a yellow version of Sinestro. So I'm totally 100% cool with that. So that's our Green Lantern toy minute.
There you go.
in our
January. There you go. Expected in January.
That's next month. Stevie asks, she saw a picture of you with a Colts beanie. Are you? Is that your NFL team?
It is. Yeah, I've been a Colts fan for 20 years or so now.
How does that happen?
I'll tell you exactly how it happens, and it does relate to Star Wars. I was at Celebration 3 in Indianapolis that year. That would have been 2005. I'd been watching NFL with my brother for years. I'd never really had a team that I followed. He was a big Eagles fan. Is a big Eagles fan. But I never had a team. Like I grew up in the 90s, so like the Raiders were a thing. And we used to play Madden, and I'd just sort of pick whoever, and I'd just sort of play around. From playing Madden, I played like with the Colts a couple of times, and I liked Peyton Manning. But I was in Indy at the RCA Dome, the old stadium, while the draft was going on, because that's when Celebration was. And at one point I wandered away from where Celebration was happening down and like had a look at the field. And obviously the draft was at Radio City at the time. That's when they always did it back then. But there was monitors and stuff going on the field. They were doing like cutaways to the Colts and stuff. And I was like, cool. There you go. And they've been my team ever since. I've seen them play a few times. Yeah, I've never seen them win in person, which is sad. But I've watched them win a Super Bowl. I've watched them lose a Super Bowl. Yeah, I've been a Colts fan for nearly 20 years now.
That's funny.
It is. Everyone's always confused by it.
Yeah, no, it's a strange. It is a strange team to like pick, especially when you're like,
it makes it hard to just find random stuff because there's like NFL merch around, like you can get it in sports stores and supermarkets sometimes, and there's always sort of stuff, but it's always NFC East, so Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, then your Raiders, now you've got like Patriots were for the longest time, and Dolphins are always big over here. The Jags are big over here as well now because of the fact that they have a regular season game at Wembley every year and have done for 10 years or so. Yeah, it's good. It's relatively big over here for still quite a niche thing, but I guess it'd be like if, I don't know, you guys have soccer over there plenty, but I don't know. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
we have a LA. I think we have a couple of teams.
You do. You got
LA Galaxy
Chargers. Oh, soccer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Soccer.
Yeah.
Football.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Football, soccer. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I didn't even think about that.
Scott does the graphics for Monday Night
This
Football. That's amazing. I
He
know
does.
that. I know that. We got a few friends of the show who work in and around the NFL. That's super cool.
Yeah, Mark Vibert. He does.
Yeah,
He runs
Mark,
audio.
for the Cards, right? Cardinals.
I think so, but I
Yeah.
think like I don't know
Just
other
for
stuff
everything.
too. I know he went. I know he was at the Super Bowl last year doing
Yes, I
sound.
saw pictures. Yeah. It's great.
So anytime you hear like, I think he does like sort of like crowd sounds and like everything you hear
It's amazing.
sound wise, it's like him.
So
like
cool.
Field sounds, anything on field. Yeah, that's right. That's so awesome. There's so much. Okay, so here's the thing. This is I haven't talked to James in 2 weeks. The thing we decided on doing was really short, and I don't know how much we could say about it, but we've talked about everything but Star Wars.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Filoni?
Not today.
Did we have we? But have we mentioned that, like, did the Filoni news break after our most recent episode?
Did it come up? I think
I don't know.
like maybe you and I have talked about it. Did it come up on Invincipod just to keep things completely off track?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's...
But I'm glad there's a singular vision.
Yes.
I'm hoping it allows other people to do stuff, and cool.
Yeah.
Singular vision's good.
I think that's it, and a singular vision in a creative position,
Right?
which I think like
Right.
George always occupied that sort of executive and creative. Kathleen Kennedy is an executive. Like she has given us all the stuff that we love. So you got to thank her for that. And then if there are things that you don't love, she's going to shoulder the blame because she's the boss. That's what they do. But it probably wasn't her saying, "Oh, you know what? Let's do this." Like she's not making creative decisions like that. That's not her role. So having now a central person in that position is very good.
Yeah.
The comparison that everyone makes is Kevin Feige, where he started in the creative position and then was elevated up to the executive and creative position. But we've also seen what happens when he gets stretched too thin. So it's nice having that separation. Have someone in the creative, have someone in the executive, and hopefully they work well together.
Well, I'm kind of hoping that they'd go. I mean, listen, say what you will about DC, but I hope they go the DC route and where they hire directors and creatives to do things their way. Yeah. And say what you will about DC, but like, I feel like Shazam movies have a very singular vision as opposed to like that's what David Sandberg is doing on Shazam, whereas Matt Reeves has a very different version what he's doing with the Batman. Yeah, but they all feel unique and they all feel different. Sure, they don't blend, but they don't have to blend. I case in point, Ahsoka, great show. Filoni did an awesome job. Is completely different than Andor, which Tony Gilroy did. Also a great job.
Great show.
And they still feel like they're part of the bigger world.
That's what you can do with Star Wars. I think that people don't like in a connected superhero universe is because in a connected superhero universe, they want and they expect characters to cross over because for now, like 15 years, that's what we've been trained on. And that's how comic books have always worked. Whereas Star Wars hasn't. We had essentially 9 episodes of one story that the characters chopped and changed, but one story. And then we've had 2 spin-offs of that. One of them was completely separate characters. And now we've got the show that, I mean, Andor and Rogue One are part and parcel, I'd say, of the same thing. But you've got then the rest of these shows, Mando and Book of Boba Fett even, which they're connected, but they're not. They are still their own unique things for the most part until that one episode. They're more connected. We've always sort of said Book of Boba Fett is just a Mando season.
Like Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's different. Ahsoka's different. Skeleton's crew is going to be different. The Acolyte's going to be different. But it's a big enough galaxy that they don't need to all cross over. They don't need to all... They can tell their own unique story. The other bit of news that we got wasn't officially announced, but from all reports, it seems like we're only getting the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew next year.
Okay,
Which
that's fine.
makes sense with strikes and everything. Like, it's things were going to be delayed. It doesn't matter how far along in production they were. It gives me hope, because I was scared at the beginning of the strikes, because Andor was close to finishing filming. I think they said something like 2 or 3 weeks left, and then they struck, and everyone was like, "Nope, we're out, we're done." And I was like, okay, good. I'm glad that they're not like scabbing and trying to like finish this with a struck creative team.
Yeah.
That's the wrong move. But I'll take a delay and keep the quality as high as it was in season 1.
When Andor finished season 1, I was like, man, it sucks we're gonna have to wait so long for the next one. But now, like, what have we had? 2 series since Andor? We have Mandalorian and we had Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And like, I think there's a Bad Batch in there somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
And Visions was in there somewhere. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, I'm good. Let's wait.
Yeah,
let's wait.
There'll probably be a Bad Batch next year. Like, there might be Tales Volume 2. I like Tales of the Jedi a lot. I'd take.
They're nice and short.
Yeah, I'd take a second season of that next year at some point. So
yeah,
there's going to be content. There's going to be stuff.
I'm fine with waiting.
Yeah,
I'm not like, listen, I'm always going to love Star Wars. I'm always going to get excited for a new trailer because I want to see new Star Wars, but take your time. Let Filoni do his thing. Let's see what they can cook up under his leadership, and let's make things exciting, make things different. Let's try different things. Go get like a freaking James Wan or something to do like a horror movie, like with a completely different mood. Totally. But he can do like adventure and stuff. I'm kind of thrilled for the new Aquaman movie. I don't know. We saw the trailer on IMAX yesterday, and it was so fucking loud. Steve was like, "Jesus Christ, it's too loud." And I'm like, I said, I'm gonna be sitting right here in this seat when Aquaman comes out. Because I was like, I want that loud. But that's the thing. It's like, hire directors to be directors. Like one of the highlights of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is James Gunn. No one gave a shit about Guardians before the movies came out. Like, it was never a comic book that sold when I worked at the comic book shop.
The people that read it really liked it. Like that Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning run. People that were into it were like really into it, but no one else gave a fuck.
We bought, like, of Marvel books, we bought 2 issues tops.
Yeah.
And so James Gunn kind of had this thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to like
do whatever I want,
something that stands out." Taika Waititi, whatever you think of Thor: Love and Thunder, I thought it was a lot of fun. Still, Ragnarok stands out because they're getting directors. It's kind of what they did when they fucked up with Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
like the whole thing was, they're going to bring in Edgar Wright to do one of these. It's going to be an Edgar Wright movie. It's just going to happen to have Marvel characters in it. And then he didn't. The rumors say that he didn't conform to the Marvel thing. He was trying to do his own thing, and he got let go.
The chapter about that in the book that I read, the MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios.
Joanna Robinson
and Dave Gonzalez. Amazing book. I recommend it for everyone. You don't need to be a big Marvel fan to enjoy it. It's just a great book about filmmaking. But the chapter where they discuss the Edgar Wright of it, like that whole situation, it was a case of, because he was signed on before there was an MCU. He was going to be doing this in the early 2000s. I think Shaun of the Dead came out and then he signed on, even before Hot Fuzz. The reason that he didn't do it when they originally wanted to do it was that his producing partner, who had done Shaun and done Hot Fuzz with him, was diagnosed with cancer. And they had the story broken for World's End already. And Edgar Wright sort of basically came to Marvel and said, I need to do this now, because if I don't and something bad happens, I'm never going to be able to live with myself. Like, I want to do this with him right now. So sorry, that's what I'm going to go do. And they respected that. They said, yep, cool, we'll wait for you. That's fine. We want to do your movie. And that takes time. Making a movie takes ages. Good news. That guy went into remission and completely kicked cancer's ass. Great. Amazing.
Mhm.
But it did put a delay, an extra delay on everything with Edgar Wright and that situation. By the time he came back around, he's made 3 movies at that point. He knows what he's doing. He's got his style, he's got his vision, he's got his people that he wants to work with. And Marvel at this point is well established. They're not going to experiment anymore. They got burned by Ed Norton. Ed Norton came in with creative power and trying to throw his weight around. And I quite enjoy The Incredible Hulk. I think it's a fun movie, but he was an absolute dick by all accounts to work with in that respect. So at this point in the Marvel process, they don't want that. They don't want that hassle.
Yeah.
And it's not that they didn't like what Edgar Wright was doing. It's like we've got a house style. It's like having the DC house style of artists way back in the day. Like this is what we do. And so it just didn't work out. They did borrow quite a bit from his script. They rewrote, but
they used his cast, right?
I think so. Yeah, that
his
everyone
cast was in place.
Yeah. It was quite a last minute him leaving, and there's reports of bad blood, but by all sides, Edgar Wright's camp and like the Marvel camp, like there's no hard feelings. Like we wanted to make a Marvel movie, he wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie, and unfortunately, because of some timing at the time, those two things didn't work out. I think if Ant-Man came out 5 years later, they might have been more willing to experiment again. If Ant-Man came out 5 years earlier, it would have been whatever they wanted it to be. It was just a unlucky timing, and they didn't want to wait on Ant-Man any longer because they knew they had plans for him in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know, I'm hoping Lucasfilm doesn't do the same. I'm hoping if they hired Edgar Wright, let them do what they do.
Yeah,
I think it's proven itself with Tony Gilroy.
It gives me hope for all these projects that they've announced when they shouldn't have announced them. They should have had these deals in place, and they should have had these meetings, and they should have had this stuff, and they should have said, like, we've got some amazing people that we're developing things with. That's all you need. Let them develop, let them take their time, let them go and make it all of their Netflix movies, and then they can come back and do their Star Wars. But
I feel like
the fact that we
Werewolf
know,
by Night,
exactly. Werewolf by Night's a perfect example. No one knew that.
Like no one. Well, nobody cares about Werewolf by Night.
No,
the only person that cares, I mean, there are people that care about Werewolf by Night, but the person who cares about Werewolf by Night the most is Michael, and Michael wanted to make it, and they're like, okay, cool. Well, he wanted it to be an hour special, like on Disney Plus. It wasn't meant to be anything other than just like, I want to do this thing. Yeah.
Find creatives that have got a thing.
That's exactly what I want with Star Wars.
Me too. I'd take one of them.
I don't need the interconnective stuff anymore. I'm kind of done with it.
I mean, I'll throw it on. I'll watch it now that I'm not working nights and I don't have as much disposable like TV watching times. I don't know if I'll watch everything. But up until now, a lot of it I have because of that. I've watched it because it's been sort of disposable. But yeah, like I'm never excited about any of it anymore. But I want to still have that with Star Wars, and I want those projects to be exciting. There was another bit of news last week that wasn't news; it was a rumor, but that the Rey movie was going to go into production on my birthday next year on April 7th. And I was like, that'd be amazing. That would be the best birthday present. Is like a screenshot of them on set with like a clapperboard or something. Like that's all I need. That would be the best. I mean, last year on my birthday, we got the Ahsoka trailer and we got the announcements of all of these movies. So if they like did it a year to the date after that, it'd be great. Then again, like yesterday or today, the update to that was this was the initially planned date, but the script's not ready yet. Strikes happened, remember that. So it's going to be a little bit longer.
John Williams said he wishes that these can go on forever.
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, and as soon as they showed like Rey and stuff, and saying Rey Skywalker and all that
She's the
stuff,
future.
I was like, make it episode 10. Just make it episode 10. I don't like if we're gonna do this, make it episode 10 and just keep going.
I wouldn't hate it. I don't know. It depends on what it is, I guess. But I don't mind. I can. With it being her makes it feel like either way, whether they put a number on the crawl or not, it kind of is because it's continuing that the Skywalker saga, as they like to call it now. Like, yeah. That'd be the way to do it. Don't advertise it as episode 10. Don't talk about it as episode 10. Like, just put it in the crawl. Just insert it in the crawl, like, to surprise people in the way that the anniversary edition of Star Wars then was suddenly called episode 4. Like, just drop it in there. Don't make a big deal of it.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want it just to happen, because especially since it's been so long since we've gotten a movie.
Yeah.
And it's going to be probably a couple more years before we get that. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready to sit in the theater. And I think that's another thing, is like that I'm kind of half fatigued as far as just sitting on the couch and consuming a Star Wars in 40 minutes.
It doesn't feel like an event. It doesn't, even when there's a new show. Like, I get excited whenever there's a new show, but that sitting down and getting her like a tub of popcorn and getting a big drink, like I want the experience. I want the lights to go down, everything to, like, the volume to come up, the crowd to shut the fuck up. Like, I want all of that. I want all of it. I want to be in a room with loads of people for that sort of thing. Like, yeah. And then I want to go to a small little theater for my second viewing where there's very few people, and I can, like, go, right, okay, this is my one for me. This is my equivalent of watching at home, so I can dig right in. Yeah. We'll get there. One day.
Just gotta be patient. No. No.
Yeah.
This is a weird episode. This is a really weird episode because I don't have any. I really have zero things to say left about the Williams thing.
I will say that I preferred this to the Skywalker Legacy documentary, and
so because it's an hour and 50 minutes shorter.
I mean, yeah, there is that, but also I don't know. I feel like this is more what I want from a behind the scenes documentary. I want that, like, digging into one department, not just fluffing each other up and just being like, hey, aren't we all great? Isn't this great? Isn't everything really good about this film? Like, it's great. I want the, like, real dig in, like, here is this department. Here is John Williams. We're going to go in on this. And they can be 10, 15-minute segments. But then if you put all of those together, you can get a good documentary out of it. You can get a good 2-hour documentary if you want to do it that way. But I don't know, maybe the rest of these features, it's been a while since I've watched them all. I think I haven't watched them since the initial release. Maybe the rest of them are what I want from it, but it's just the main piece, the one that's presented as the main documentary isn't that.
Right. It almost feels like this was pulled out of that documentary because it was too long.
100%.
And
we said it in that documentary.
Probably could have pulled out other stuff.
Yeah. And gone a little bit deeper on those bits, but pull away from that. Yeah. I wonder, I mean, maybe the rest of those things on there are, because there's a few other features on that document, on that release, however you're watching it. I don't have a lot else. We've talked
the shortest episode.
And it might be.
Might be.
I'm good with that. You've got another podcast to record later. You've been busy, so
I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
like absolutely just been nuts, man. If you guys feel like checking it out, at Getting Lost Doc is where you can find that. I don't think I have a banner for it, but no. But I have this. Go check out Johnny's channel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Looking at all our banners. Make Helix canon.
Absolutely,
no traction on that.
Big Biomes 2 happen.
Adams. go get stuff at Adam's Junk Trader Outpost. You can find him at Instagram.com/grayanon.
Yep.
I mean, if don't
think tickets are for
Cotter
sale
and
anymore.
the George Lucas, I don't think tickets are for sale anymore. But George Lucas Talk Show is doing some sort of event.
They've
supposed
got
to be
a
yesterday.
special or something coming up. Like
yeah. Follow Jacob Fullerton. Follow us at Invincipod. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky everywhere now. I have so many freaking Blue Sky codes. And then Blue Sky sent me an email this last week saying that
you want to be an executive?
You're invited. No, it said you're now approved to be on Blue Sky because I don't know, a year and a half ago I put myself on the waiting list, and they're just getting around to it. So I think more people are on Blue Sky. If you're not on Blue Sky, listen, I have just a buttload of invite codes because I have something like 10 accounts.
I don't ever open Twitter anymore unless like I get a DM. So don't like, everyone please come over because it's nice to hang out on there.
Nice.
It is.
I've been posting a lot there.
It's been good.
I just post whenever we do shows for live action Star Wars on there, and then skeet it. I don't like that they use skeet.
I don't. I
repost it that on my Casino Skunk one, but So Ian Hart says thanks for the heads up on Godzilla -1. It's only on tonight and tomorrow in IMAX. Then it's gone.
Scott D asks how your life day was. Did you do anything? Did you celebrate this year?
We did an Invincipod, I believe.
I think we did.
With Johnny. Lucha
oh,
Johnny
was that was that day? Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's pretty much how I spent it. And then I got ready, did prep for the movie. So there's some fun stuff coming up. I got to show you something when we're off the air. Unfortunately, I can't show everybody. I mean, maybe I can. If you're in this late, let me see if I can find this picture. And I'm going to show this. And this is for Lost fans. Lost fans are going to kind of know what's going on here. And I don't know if Taylor's watching right now, but
inside look, everybody.
This is a cropped photo. Okay.
It's a live action Star Wars exclusive.
We did this week.
This is this. I knew that you were doing this, but that's great to see that that's what that is.
So
great. I'm excited.
Great.
Now that me and Liz are done with our watch of Ahsoka and everything like that, we've gone through all of that and Rebels. We've watched some episodes of Clone Wars. We're finally digging back into our Lost watch. We just did. What did we just do last night? The Long Con season 2. So we're like peak Charlie's a dick, and Sawyer's all pissy because they took his stuff. It's good. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've watched these episodes, so it's fun to go back to 2000. That'd be early 2006, I guess.
Something like that.
It was after Christmas. I know that the 23rd Psalm was the first one after Christmas that year. So yeah.
I'm like a lost overload right now.
I bet.
I really am. We are next month going to Hawaii to shoot, so I'll be gone probably a week. So we'll see how that fits into our schedule.
We'll figure it out. But, hopefully it's not the week they bring Invincible back.
I think it's coming back in February. I think it's coming out the same time as the iOS game. Which, speaking of, you already have the iOS game.
Yeah,
we're going to be discussing it day after tomorrow.
Friday. This Friday over on Invincipod. I guess. I mean, a first look. I'm sure that there's probably videos out there, but I don't know. So if you are interested in it, gameplay or something. I played it for about half an hour. I've screen recorded it all. It's a massive file. But we've got it, we've tested it out, and we'll be watching that gameplay and just chatting about the game and Invincible and stuff like that. So come and join us on Friday.
Oh, Scott D asks us we're going to be covering the holiday special documentary, A Disturbance in the Forest. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Um,
That'll most
it-
likely be a regular episode at some point.
yeah, I would have thought so. As soon as it's available, that's a blind buy for me.
Yeah. And Ian Hart says, thanks for the doc.
Yeah,
And, it's funny, like, Taylor and I were talking. We went out and grabbed some Mexican food at El Coyote. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday night. We thought we were done for the day, but we ended up getting one more shoot. Um, he and he pretty much said, he's been saying, like, I wouldn't have done this if you said no. And it's one of those things where I'm like, it took me a while to sort of like get it,
yeah.
but like I really honestly feel like I between us, I'm not going to take like all credit, because obviously I shouldn't take all the credit, but I feel like if it wasn't me and him, this doc wouldn't be the same as
Wouldn't
what
be
you
doing
guys are
what it
going to
is.
get.
Yeah, no.
We
I mean,
had
I've
an
seen
interview.
the other stuff that Taylor's made, and I really enjoy those documentaries. And then I've seen, and I know you, so yeah, it's the perfect people for this.
I had somebody reach out to me yesterday. Somebody who can probably get stuff done more than I can. Someone that has more clout than I have reached out to me yesterday to get in touch with people that we've gotten for the doc, because they
Wow,
know me
that
and
you've
they
got
know
the
that I
hookup.
have some sort of pull. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like they were looking for like 5 people's email addresses, and I was able to provide them with 4 of them.
Amazing.
And I was just like, I'm actually doing this. Like, it's actually happening.
Yeah, dude.
Um uh Oh, Scott D says the holiday special movie's out now. So
I am gonna look for it as soon as we get finished here.
yeah.
It's my pick in 2 weeks. It's our end of the year special. Um, we
Oh, is
could
it?
I mean,
I
it's our
mean,
last episode of the year. Is next episode. So in 2 weeks' time, it's our last regular episode of the year. Yeah. Right. That's right, isn't it?
right.
That'd be yeah.
It
That's
says
the 20th.
Disturbance in the Forest came out in March.
What?
It premiered at South by Southwest
Okay.
in March.
Yeah.
And it's streaming as of December 5th. So that was yesterday.
Cool. What's it streaming on?
I'm gonna see. Disturbance in the Forest. Streaming location. Let's see here. It's on Vudu, or buy it on Apple TV. You could buy it on Apple TV.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
See if it's available over here.
You want to do that? You want to do that next?
I mean, we could do that next if it is available here. Ah, sweet, it's cheap too. I'm literally clicking buy right now. Buy.
So in 2 weeks' time, we're covering Disturbance in the Forest.
I guess so. How long is it? An hour and a half? Yeah, we can do that in 2 weeks. I was just gonna say if not, we've kind of done it this week though. I was gonna say, do we just want to do like a year-end wrap up, like things that we liked, things we didn't? But I suppose we could do that as a data link if we've got time at the end of the year.
Yeah, head over to liveactionstarwars.com. It's our YouTube channel, and you'll know what's coming down the pipeline, because we'll post it early enough for you to be able to either watch it or do something else. But yeah, I think we'll be good. We have 2 weeks to watch that. We can figure it out.
Yeah. We've got time to do that. I've bought it. I've owned it. I will watch that. I'll definitely have an hour and a half at some point.
Cool.
Great. Oh, I'm excited. That looks fun. I sent you a link about it a couple of weeks ago when I first heard about it, and I was like, that's something we're covering.
100%.
Yeah. So thank you for reminding us, Scott D. And yeah, in 2 weeks' time, everybody, a Disturbance in the Force. The behind the scenes look, maybe. I don't really know what the documentary is. Look at the holiday special.
Yeah, I don't know any info on the holiday special, so I'm excited about that.
I mean,
I'd like
we've got an entire episode about the holiday special that people can go back and watch if they never have.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it's from 2 years ago.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
All
right.
Cool. This is a short one, but thank you for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to come over to InvincePod on Friday. Probably be an episode similar to this, but for that show.
Yeah, we're looking at a video game, so you don't have to. You don't have any homework to do before we do that.
Just come and watch me play that game for half an hour.
Yeah.
It'll be a shorter one as well. We got busy Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Until then, don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Punch it.